All right. Hi, everyone. How's it going?
Good. Good morning.
Good. Good morning to you. Hey, Bob. Nice to see you. And I
Likewise.
brought you guys some special treats here from our office. I have Dan, who's right there from LynnPro. Dan has been working with LynnPro at LynnPro for how many years, Dan?
2.5 this stint.
Yeah. So yeah, this time around 2.5, but he's been here before. And Dan is one of the salespeople here at LynnPro that'll be handling your clients or your referrals when they come in. And then I see Aaliyah over there. She's uh, been with our company here. Oh, I'd say probably 2.5, 3 months. Is that right, Aaliyah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Aaliyah will she'll be joining us too. So she's new in sales for our company, but has been in sales for her own company and stuff like that. So anyway, we'll see if Casey joins us. But anything that somebody wants to touch on here, is there anything in that any of you need help with?
Well, you saw my message, and I kind of looked at it this morning, so I think I've got it pretty much solved. I went back
You
and looked at
basically want to take a link and direct it to a form, correct?
well, basically, I want to redirect a few things, and I went back to your notes all the way back to when I first met you. So I've got the static QR code generator here, and I went back to your video, I think on the 14th. That was very beneficial. So I went
Sure.
back and reviewed that. So I think I pretty much know what needs to be done, but I'm not an IT guy.
Well, if you need help pointing that or directions on how to do that, Rio does that all the time for us. Like I just had probably five of them done on Friday to where I'm building out these forms to speak to specific audiences. Like Jay, where's Jay? Hey, Jay. Jay wanted to reach out to churches, right? And I don't know if I have this domain memorized correctly, but I'm thinking this is what it is. It's called Church Merch Express. That's a mouthful, but it's something that I bought. And when you go there, you can go to that landing page, well, the form, and it speaks their language. Okay. And then that way, if you wanted to promote a certain type of industry, a niche, we call them niches or niches, but in the Midwest, we're not that French, so it's a niche. And you can do that, whether it be a bowling one, whether it be an automotive one. We have different ones. So when you share it, we've had a lot of results with a gentleman who we built one for gymnastics, right? He owns a gymnastics business. So we built him a form to speak to, we bought him, I made the mistake where I bought a domain name called gymnasticmerch.com. And I said he was the only one that could use it. And I'm sticking to my word, obviously. But after I did that, I realized that why couldn't I just take anybody that was interested in these different spaces and attach their number just like it is to the current form, and they could promote whatever industry they wanted to? And he sent it out. He belonged to a Facebook group of other gymnastic owners, and he sent it out, but he's also a customer here. He orders stuff too. So he sent it out with an order that he did and showed a picture and said, hey, if anybody wants some cool merch like what I just got, go to gymnasticsmerch.com. And he had like, I don't want to over exaggerate it. It's more than 15 people fill that form out, right? So now they're in the works. Just because you get a form that's filled out doesn't mean they're ready to buy right now. It might
All right.
take them months, it might take them weeks. It could be right now, or it could be never. But what happens is when that process starts taking place, what we do here is Dan or Aaliyah or Liz will reach out to them from that form and talk to them a little bit if they can get a hold of them. If they can't get a hold of them, they send them an email. Hey, this is Dan. Dan, why don't you share exactly how that would roll out? If a form come in, you make the initial call just like you would to a regular prospect, and just kind of give them the rollout how you do that.
Sure thing. Just touch base with everybody. Once we get the form in, it's all filled out. We'll take that information, reach out to the customer, and kind of just get a feel for what they're looking for: shirts, hats, whatever it may be. Get the groundwork laid for the customer relationship, set it up that way. And then as it goes through, we'll get the order together, easy peasy from there. So, but super easy to reach out. We've got all the information and we just do our best to see if we can get in front of them.
One good thing about our staff here at LynnPro, they're not going to bother your people. What they'll do, for instance, and I think I have this right, I don't work directly with them. So how I believe it works here is that Dan or Leah would reach out with a call. Whether they get the call or not, they're still going to send an email. If they didn't get the call, they're going to reach out tomorrow. They'll leave a voicemail if they can. If they didn't get the call, they'll reach out the following day, but they won't leave a voicemail because they don't want to sound like they're, bothering them. And then they might not reach out to them again for another week with an email, and they just start slowly giving them some information about LynnPro and just kind of keep them in the loop. And that could go on for a long time. If somebody says, hey, I'm not interested, or I got a supplier, just take me off your list, they can unsubscribe, and then we won't reach out to them anymore. And I saw Casey jumped on here. I want to give Casey some time here. I thought Casey, I'll be honest with you, I thought he was going to abandon me just to push me off the boat. That's what I was thinking happened. I almost guaranteed that's what happened a little bit, because I was starting to sweat here a little bit, and I thought I'm going to close my laptop and go home. And because this is not my comfort zone at all. So anyway, I'm going to let Casey go. Thanks for showing up at the dock.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. And I knew we had Ryan and Debbie on here and Dan and Shanta, so I knew you wouldn't be completely abandoned. But I just wanted to make you a little nervous. I just wanted to get you a little get your bottom a little warmed up today. So, hey everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening whenever you are watching this, whether you're watching us live or if you're on the replay. I just want to welcome you to our LynnPro Connectors training call. Super thrilled. My name is Casey Eberhardt. I am working with Jeff to help sort of wrangle all of us together, kind of figure out where the bottlenecks are, where we can help you guys, and we'll remove those bottlenecks and help you guys make some money. So because we have a lot of new people joining us for the first time, I wanted to take just a couple of seconds and step back for a second and talk about what the LynnPro program actually is. And for those of you that have been around us for a while, which I'm really thrilled, we just clicked over 800 of us. So I'm really excited about that. I wanted to say it again and 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 again, because the more you understand what we're doing here, the easier it's going to be for you to get a check. Like, I'm just going to call it what it is. Okay. So at its core, LynnPro is a one-stop shop for branded merch. Okay. They have an in-house screen printing, embroidery warehouse. I'll have Jeff repost a link. Last week we had him do a behind the scenes kind of what the factory looks like, because I want you to understand that you're not dealing with some internet marketing deal. You're not dealing with a course or a guru or whatever. I think you will find that Jeff is really good at making customers feel awesome and keeping and growing customers in the LynnPro family. So the LynnPro family does screen printing, embroidery, promotional products at its core. We also have a bunch of other things that we offer: stickers, mugs, all kinds of things. If somebody's logo or team name goes on it, they do it. Okay. They have over 635 Google reviews. They have a 5-star Google rating, which is not easy to do unless you're good at what you do. The team over at LynnPro, before we ever brought this to any of you, we needed to make sure that the LynnPro team were really good at what they did in really serving the customer with what they want, because we wanted to develop a program or a process here so that Jay could feel very comfortable handing off someone as high influence in his life as a priest, down to the soccer mom that got put in charge of soccer jerseys, to a CEO of a company that needs to buy merch for a convention or a trade show. And so the team over at LynnPro went through extensive, well, not really extensive, this is who they are at their being, to make sure that we weren't overselling, we weren't putting pressure on customers, we were also making sure that the customers and the prospects were actually followed up with, and not leaving any stone unturned for them to be able to serve our network that we're putting in front of them. Okay, so at its core, that's the gig. we are trying to put together as many different tools and assets for you to be able to make those introductions as easy and as painless as possible. Okay. So, for example, Jeff was just talking about we're building out some pages that speak to a specific audience that you will have access to, whether it's church groups, whether it's, gymnastics, cheer camps, life insurance folks, network marketers, whatever. And then you'll also have a generic, what we'll call a lead form. Okay. So, very simple process. All we need you guys to do, including myself, is put your network in touch with LynnPro. That's it. There's no selling on your part. There's no trying to figure out thread counts and getting catalogs and figuring out. These guys are the best in the world at what they do. They're based out in Iowa, so they have nothing better to do than to take care of our customers. Okay, so I want us to let them do their job. Our job is to simply put our network in front of them. It's just to put them in touch. Very simple. The way the program works is actually very simplistic. Every time one of our customers purchases anything from LynnPro, they are going to cut you a check within 24, I'm going to say within 72 hours, although Jeff will do it within 24, but let's give the guy a leeway in case unless we hit a weekend here. Within 72 hours, Jeff's going to either pay you via PayPal or cut a check and put it in the mail of 10% of the gross. And when I say 10% of the gross, what that really means is 10% of whatever the customer pays LynnPro. We are not in the business of nickel and diming, so it's not like, well, we're going to deduct the cost of the shirts and we're going to deduct the cost of the shipping and we're going to try this. That is not the thing. I will be transparent here. I have been hired as Jeff's coach and consultant for many years, so I am intimately involved in this. And the one thing that in order to make this work needed to happen was Jeff needed to be exactly where we needed him to be, which is I'm going to decide how successful this program is with the higher amount of dollars I'm writing checks for. So his mindset is he is essentially paying us to bring him customers, and he is not having to pay advertising on radio, TV, door to door. That's our job. Okay. So all we have to do is either promote via social media or a newsletter or something, the link to a customer form, a lead form, or what I personally do is I'm a little bit more personal. But the reason I'm a little bit more personal with it is because I know those relationships are going to stick. Okay. So couple of things, and I'm going to open this up. I want to take just a few minutes. I want to lay the groundwork for this, and then I want to be able to open it up and get any questions answered, because this conversation is really important to Jeff and I, and Dan and everybody at LynnPro, so that we can help serve you guys and make it as easy as possible to put people in touch with us over at LynnPro. Okay, so I've put 2 links in the chat. The first one is our WhatsApp chat. If you are not part of the WhatsApp chat and you would like to be, go ahead and join the WhatsApp chat. We're trying to give you enough places to connect with us. I will tell you that Jeff and I and Ryan is on my team. Ryan and I co-own a marketing agency together, and Ryan is also in the weeds and in the mix with this. So the 3 of us, we're pretty much in that WhatsApp chat 24 hours a day. We don't like to say that, but we are, right? And remember, Jeff's in Iowa. He has nothing better to do, so he can be on there much longer than I do. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm soaking up the sun. He's like in the cold. Okay. So first is WhatsApp chat. The second is our Facebook group. Okay. Now in the Facebook group, what you're going to find is that is where you guys can share and exchange ideas, ask questions. If you need something like done lickety split, my suggestion is the WhatsApp chat first. But it's always not as easy to do posts in there, asking questions, but we'd love to have you post in both. We want to meet you where you are. Now, we built out a third-party community that we started down the road on, and we sort of put a damper on that just for a minute because we want to meet everybody where they are. We want to work out all the bottlenecks, and then when we get really big as a group, we may say, hey, Facebook's not working out for us, the WhatsApp chat is too much, and then we may bring you guys over to that collaboration. Okay. We also have a toolkit that has been developed. And I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Someone will post it in the chat. I think it's LynnProToolkit.com. It's, we don't get that creative with names here. But all you need to do is take your link that we give you, and you have access to videos, emails that you can use, so on and so forth in that toolkit. Okay. Rio is also somebody that works on our team. She's based down, I believe, in the Philippines, and she is amazing at what she does. So if you need certain things, please tag her or tag myself or Jeff in the WhatsApp chat, and we're pretty much on it, pretty much. So with that, a couple of quick things I just want to bring to the forefront of the conversation, and then we'll open it up. I want to hear if anybody has any wins or any questions. I've got a huge win I'll share with you guys in a second. But I want to address QR codes. Okay. And this is really important because somebody asked us to put a QR code on one of the pieces that we were creating for social media. So Jeff and the team are putting together some social media posts. And by the way, if there's some kind of post with some kind of thing you want on it, we would love to be able to do that. So if Jay wants us to create a social media post that has the 3-in-1 phone charger, just tell us, we'll create it, because we want to make this easy for you guys. If you want to sell this to HVAC owners or pest control or whatever, tell us. We can create that. Not a problem. We'll drop it in the toolkit, and then everybody will have access to it. Okay. Where was I going with that? QR code. Sorry. So a couple of people asked for a QR code, and then I watched and we saw like 15 people want that same thing with a QR code attached to it. But I want to make sure everybody understands. I want to make sure that everybody understands the QR code process. 90% of social media is being looked at on our phones. Okay. So a QR code posted in a Facebook group or on your social media, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Pinterest, whatever, 90% of the people will not be able to do anything with the QR code because they're already on their phone, which they need in order to scan a QR code. Okay. So a couple of people, I came back and I said, why do you want a QR code? I wasn't trying to be a jerk about it. I want to understand what it is. So if somebody says, hey, could you print me a QR code sticker? Because I'm going to stick it on the back of my phone here. So when I'm out talking to somebody and I'm talking to Debbie and I say, hey, Debbie, can I help you print your shirts? Can I put you in touch with my guys? He says, yeah. She says, yes. I hold my phone up and she can scan that QR code. 100%. I'll make those all day long. Okay. Couple of things that we are making. We are creating forms for you guys to be able to have on your phones. Almost it'll look like an app. It'll just be your link and it'll be a landing page on your phone. That's coming down the pipeline. So just be aware, like if you're going to use a QR code and someone like me or Ryan or Jeff or Rio come back and say, hey, Robert, what are you going to do with this thing? It's not because we're coming at it from we don't want to do it. We're coming at it from we want to understand to make sure that we're giving you the best shot at winning. Okay, so let's see. I do want to share 2 wins that we've had this week that I think one of the things I want to make sure on these calls is that we can exchange ideas. So it's like, oh, Debbie did this. Oh, I can do that. Or Robert did this. Okay, awesome. Helen did that, and it can grow like that. So the first win for me is I am friends with a gal that she happens to be one of my best friends, and she owns a marketing agency, a digital marketing agency, and she happens to work primarily in home services and HVAC. HVAC is heating, ventilation, air conditioner. Okay. There are marketing agencies that I'm about to tell you about that will do this over and 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 over again. Okay. And so we went to her, we met with her yesterday, and essentially we made the pitch as, hey, you're doing rebrands for people when they get a new website and a refresh on their website and all their marketing stuff. Why don't you just say, hey, since we created a new logo for you, why don't you let our guys help you with rebranding the side of your vans with the magnets, your pens, your t-shirts, your uniforms, that kind of thing. And for that, you'll get paid 10% off the top of everything. And she was to say the least, ecstatic. Very easy for her to do. We're creating her a co-branded page, and away we'll rock and roll. Once that gets placed into a marketplace, they will just include that in their sales process. Now, she has about 3,000 clients. So I want you to think of what the math is going to look like for her. If she's doing 3,000 clients and they get a rebrand every 3 years, that's 1,000 a year. That's essentially 3 a day are going through the rebrand process. If even one of those out of the 3 use LynnPro, this is a multi 6-figure check for her over the course of a year with one contact. Okay. Now, if you need to have somebody that you're like, oh my gosh, I want to make sure I don't get cut out of the deal, but I have somebody that has a lot of people in their network or a big network of people, reach out to Jeff and I or Rio, and we'll make sure you get taken care of. We call that sort of a second tier. I don't want to go too deep into that, but we can essentially allow you to bring on other connectors like yourself. And if they bring on a customer, Jeff will pay that person 10% off the top. But you'd get a 5% kind of thank you bonus for bringing that connector to the table. Okay, so in this case, with my friend, she will make the 10%, and Jeff will pay me 5% as a thank you gift for bringing her to the table. Okay, so I'm trying to make this as sort of as easy as we can. That is not to say that the whole gig is you just try to be on a bunch of connectors. You want to be a little bit more strategic about that. So that was win number 1. Win number 2, I'm going to count as a win, even though it's not going to necessarily result in a customer for LynnPro, but it opens the door. Okay. So I go to okay. Yeah. So Yvonne says 5% of what exactly? So her name is Jennifer. Jennifer will make 10% of any HVAC customer that she puts in front of LynnPro that they do an order bank with. Okay, an order with. Let's say that the order is $10,000. Jennifer will make $1,000, and Jeff will write her a check or PayPal her within 72 hours. But I brought Jennifer to the table, and Jen's getting that 10%. So Jeff has to thank me for bringing her to the table. Otherwise, I wouldn't have brought her to the table. So he's going to pay me 5% of that same order. So in this case, on a $10,000 order, Jen would make $1,000 and I would make $500. So it is 5% of the order. It is not 5% of the 10%. Okay. So from a strategy standpoint, my mouth isn't moving, because when my mouth moves, I make money. When my mouth doesn't move, I don't make any money. So I go to a real estate. Oh, Deborah Brick, I am so in love with your backdrop. Sorry, that was my side tangent there. I just love that. That's awesome. I go to a real estate investor meeting every Wednesday at the Sizzler. Okay, now don't anybody get grossed out. Yes, it's at the Sizzler. We basically call it the indigestion meeting. But 20 to 30 investors show up there. We have an attorney there. His name is Jack. And Jack, every time we show up, when we get there, there's about 20 pens out on the table. It says, "Trust me, I'm a lawyer," has his logo and his name and stuff on it, right? So I said to him, I could have said nothing, but last week I said to him, I said, "Hey, Jack," I said, "you do a lot of pens." He goes, "Yeah." He says, "I order them by the thousands." I'm like, "Awesome. Are you in love with the guys that do the pens?" He said, "Oh, I totally love them. They're awesome." I said, "Okay, cool. If something ever should happen, can I create your number 2? I'd love to put you in touch with my guys. Let them be your number 2. And he was like, "I'll keep that in mind." I said, I'm not going to give you their stuff now, but if you ever need a number 2, let me know." Very simple process. It was a no. He's in love with the person. I would never put them over to Dan, because what's Dan going to do? "No, we're better," and like pound their chest. That's not the LynnPro way. Okay. I do want to share one more little way, because I want you guys to start thinking about how we can expand this, right? So I go to a gym. I know it doesn't look like it, but imagine what it looked like before I went to a gym. And my gym orders shirts. So he ordered some shirts. It was a great deal. But then he became a LynnPro connector, and he was talking to another friend of his that they co-own a business together. And I don't totally understand it, some fitness YouTube channel. And they're going to some fitness expo. And I have a tendency to like try to go in and help and pre-sell and oh, you can do this and this and this and this and this. And I wanted to see if Dan and the team could be reliable or if I could break the system. So I did something that is very difficult for me in this case, and I just kept my big trap shut. And I was like, listen, I'm going to be hands off. I'm going to let these guys do it. And it's a test. I'm basically giving a pop quiz without a study guide, right? So I go back into the gym, and JP is literally skipping around the gym. He's so excited. I'm like, why are you so excited? He's like, my box from LynnPro came. I was like, okay. You ordered some shirts for the fitness expo. Like, okay. And he opens this thing up. I'm going to say I didn't know what half the shit was. There were jump ropes in there. There were fitness bands. There were all kinds of contraptions in there that I had no idea what they were. I'm like, what is all of this stuff? He's like, oh, I talked to Liz over there and she helped me. There's rubber band fitness things that we can give away that were really cheap, and there's jump ropes that we're giving away, and we got t-shirts, and I think I got some like this whole. I was like, had I opened my mouth, I would have maybe got them to buy some t-shirts. When I leave it up to the team that does this as a professional organization, they were able to help serve him better by giving him more bang for his buck in other items to give away at a trade show. So I say that to all of us that are talkers. Sometimes talking is great to get the lead and to be able to pass that person over in touch with Jeff and Dan and Liz and the team over there. But then it's also time to zip it and move on. Okay. So I want to those are kind of that's kind of what I wanted to jump in and share with you guys. I want to open this up. If anybody has any questions, you have any wins, you need anything, like, we are here to help you guys. Nothing makes Jeff happier than when he writes big checks and he's able to go over to a restaurant he's helping out and wash dishes. So let's make this man write some checks. Okay. So, anybody, just take yourself off mute. We're all friends here. This will be recorded. We will put it out for you guys to share and use if you need to.
So did I hear correctly that there is a link that we could use to actually advertise the business itself?
Yeah, absolutely, Kevin. So what you have is in your welcome email, it was in there. If you need me to go grab it, just put it in the WhatsApp chat. Say, hey, this is Kevin Gaines. Can somebody get me my link? And we'll pop it over to you. It'll be like lynnpro.com/ and there's a number like 1057. And that link is directly tied to you. So if you post that on social media, or if you hand it to somebody, or even if you fill it out yourself on behalf of somebody, it gets tied directly to you. So we know, hey, Kevin was the one that brought this amazing customer over to the team.
Okay. Sounds fair.
Yeah. And that's how we track everything. And I will say that because we can track stuff on the back end, we are going to find out who was the person responsible for bringing that person over to the team. They are very, very sophisticated over there in how they do things. But yes,
Okay.
Kevin, you'll get a link. You should, if you don't have it, Jeff's probably writing it down. We'll get Rio to send it over to you, no problem.
Okay, so I can go ahead and put that on social media for advertisement to
Yep.
just
Yes, 100%. And Kevin, this is just to tag into that one thing I forgot to say, which is probably the most important for many of us here, is this is not just a one and done payment plan. So my friend Jennifer, when she brings on an HVAC business and they need uniforms, right? And Jeff and the team do uniforms. And then let's say 6 months later, they need more uniforms, or they need hats, or they need hoodies, or they need whatever. You still get paid for that. So you continuously get paid. We're going to cap it for a year right now. My guess is by the end of it, if you're introducing some people to us, we'll definitely extend it for a second year. But we just have to have some kind of cutoff for people that aren't really promoting it. So yes, Kevin. So let's say you put it on social media. You put it on social media, and one of your people that you don't even know on social media says, "Hey, I need some hoodies." They put in name, email address, phone number. I need some hoodies. That goes over to the team. The team calls them and they order hoodies. Kevin, you're just going to get a check.
Sounds
Very
fair.
very, 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 very simple. And it's, I will tell you guys, just as an affiliate marketer and a partner, I've done this for years. I've made a lot of money this way. The whole thing started where I did a video on my YouTube channel, speaking to CEOs that wanted to do affiliate programs because they're terrible, most of them. And I literally did this video on my YouTube channel. And I told Jeff, I'm like, if you want to have this conversation, I need you to go watch that video. And we're going to talk about all 11 things that are on that video. And he came back and he's like, I'm in, dude, just build it how you want it. And so this is this is to some extent my baby. I haven't had too much pushback yet. But yeah. And Kevin, for you, it looks like Rio has already put your link in the chat there.
Okay, good.
Yeah. That's how fast we are.
I'm looking at it now.
Awesome. Yeah. Anybody else?
Casey, I did want to say that, since people want QR codes and they're not good for social media, we put a video together how you can do this to where if you're out and about and somebody clicks on this, it'll go right to your page. There's instructions on how to get a QR code for yourself, and we have a template. You'd have to do this on your own, but there's a video. So you could do this if you're out talking to somebody at a soccer tournament or something. If they want to just go to your page and say, here, scan this. So that's about the only way the QR code really works.
Yeah, the QR code is going to work as you're physically in front of someone. Like if you were at a soccer match with your kids and you're talking to somebody next to you that needs it and you have that QR code, then they can scan it. That's one easy way to do it.
And also when they order, we do pay the reorders, as Casey said, but we're always trying to grow that account too and find out. They might have come in initially for shirts, but as Dan and Aaliyah and Liz talk to them a little bit more, we find out that they order mugs. So as we grow that account, your 10% is growing too. Literally, you're putting them in touch with us. And I wish it was as easy as some people think, to where you can just do a social media post. That'll work from time to time, but really it's about who do you know already? Where do you work? If you're working someplace, they're probably ordering merchandise. So why wouldn't they just order it from you? Same thing with your relatives or anyway. Can you touch a little bit, Casey, on how you used to teach people to do stuff like that just to get them thinking?
Yeah, I always know that the hardest part is opening our mouths the first time. That's just we don't know what people are going to ask. We're afraid that someone's going to think we're idiots or whatever. And so I would just recommend that you go out and practice. Hey, I found this really cool thing. Who needs hats and t-shirts? Hats and t-shirts to me are like the easy win, and then pass it over and let the guys do the rest. But with my trainer was wearing a t-shirt that said Legends on it, and Legends happens to be the name of his the supplement company that he represents, right? And I said, hey, that t-shirt, if Legends would just order those t-shirts from LynnPro would pay you a check. You'd probably make more getting their t-shirts printed there than you will selling their supplements. And honest to God, you guys, the first thing he did was he's like, excellent. And he literally sat in my training session and started texting the owner of Legends. I'm like, hey, I'm paying you to be here. And then I realized, number one, he's not making me lift weights, which is great because now I don't want to lift them in the first place. And number two, if these saps order shirts, I'm going to get 5%. I'm like, what can I do to help? Do I need to go over there and massage their feet? Because I will. Right? So it's just a matter of getting into a habit. I have a habit. I've tried to train myself to open my mouth about this at least 3 times a day. If it's a social media post, if I'm out and about, if I'm talking to a friend, I'll bring it up. Not everybody bites, but some will, some won't. Who cares? Yesterday, when we were talking to Jen, we were talking about a whole rebrand and da 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 da. And then I said, well, Jen, I just saw pictures of you being in Nashville at the trade show, and I saw there were hats and T-shirts on the thing. She's, oh yeah, that's handled by somebody else. Oh, we could just have those done by Jeff. And literally, she in real time sent it off to the teammate who did it, right? And then she was like, well, I wonder if we could assign a code to all of my teammates that are selling it, that are passing it over, and give them a piece of the action as well. I'm like, yep. So now she's got an entire account executive team that will be creating codes for her, so that when they sell it on her behalf, even though she'll get the check, she knows how to recognize those people. This just is about being creative and then coming back here and sharing what works for you guys, what doesn't work for you guys. One other thing, because somebody asked this in the WhatsApp chat. Well, do we have a dashboard and a tracking thing and all of that? The answer is not yet. We will. We need to break the system enough to build you the best possible dashboard. Okay, so someone like Debbie Morrow here, she has one of the best publications and publishing companies for people in real estate, right? And I believe she has this in her link tree. The link is in her link tree. She's got a link tree that has all the things she promotes. It just sits there. She's written about this in the newsletter. She's promoted it to other people. It's just a matter of getting in front of people. I will say this, and this will be where it does get a little sticky. We are in a marketplace competing with someone like Debbie. She's a juggernaut. She's huge. Whoever puts that customer in the system first is the one that's going to get the credit for the customer. Okay? So if I say, hey, Deborah, because Deborah's in real estate investing, Deborah, do you need shirts? She says yes. I say great. She fills out the form and it goes inside there. Awesome. Okay, but then let's say she's hanging out with Debbie and Debbie's like, hey, do you need shirts? And Deborah says, yeah, I need shirts. Debbie says, well, fill out my form, and it goes back in, but I've already put Deborah in the system. I'm gonna get the sale. Okay. So, and that's just, we had to pick a fair way to do it. So it's first in gets paid. And that was that's like I said, we'll break it and fix it if we need to. Anybody else? For those of you that are using Linktree, this is like the easiest thing. You see it link in bio on Instagram or whatever. Like drop it in your LinkedIn, your Linktree. Get a graphic made, put it in your Linktree, branded merch. I'm just thinking like bands. I like things that are reorders. So things like musicians and bands, right? Think about it. A band gets merch and they sell merch and then they go on tour. You could have these guys, the band can have these guys take boxes and say, hey, send it to this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, so that when they go do an event on tour, the merch is already there. Speakers that sell t-shirts and hats and giveaways, and they're on speaking circuit. I'm a speaker. I go out on tour. Let me tell you what's awful is dragging around suitcases that I have to pay $70 for on every flight to each and every place I speak. So now what I'm going to do is I have a little merch kit, and I can simply say to the guys, hey, this is my 9-city tour. I need boxes in all 9 of these hotels. And here's the dates by which I need them there. And I don't have to think. They got it. They've done a lot of merchandise. Things like races, like 5Ks and marathons. Jeff's wife, basically Jeff stands there and she runs. And so now we've just put her to good use, and she's running and running and running and running and running. Now, Jeff thinks she's running towards him. I think she's running away, right? But she's out running marathons and half marathons and 5Ks and 10Ks and 12Ks and 1.2Ks and 37Ks. And I don't understand why anybody would want running. I don't understand why people run when we have perfectly good cars and we can get from A to B with cars. Okay? But these races, you guys order thousands and thousands of t-shirts at a time to give their participants. Thousands. They get them sponsored and get branded, put stuff all over them. Thousands. I truly believe this is, I've said this to Jeff privately. I've talked to Ryan about this privately. I truly believe that there will be about 4% of us that come in here that, if done right, will easily make 6 figures a year at this by not even doing a whole bunch of work. It's by adding into what we're already doing. And by the way, if anybody did want to go like full time, is like, listen, I want to really go like to the wall, you just let Jeff and I know, and we'll do everything in our power to help you with that.
Casey, did you mention the second tier, right?
Yep. So
So a little bit, just a quick touch on that. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I will tell you this. If you don't know necessarily who to talk to, or you're not somebody that you feel gifted to talk to somebody, we've all been there at one point or time in something. These people have big audiences. You could reach out and send an email to them and say, listen, I have a program to where you could, we'll craft something up for you if you want that. We'll put a bunch of that in the tools where you could reach out to people. When I say an influencer, I'm not necessarily meaning somebody like the Kardashians, which they're awesome influencers. I'm talking somebody that's in the construction trade that has a large following. Maybe on YouTube, they might have a following of 20,000 people. Well, construction people buy a lot of shirts. And if a construction influencer had the opportunity to promote DeWalt or Milwaukee, they would be tickled pink to get 10% of that because people buy those products. But the nice thing about t-shirts and logoed products is they wear out over time. People move on to different companies. They give them away to their customers. They're not going to necessarily do that with drills. So I just want you to think that just find people that have audiences and they can earn the 10% and you can earn the 5% override. So that's open to you. And I think I'll craft some messages today. Is that where you want this to go a little bit now, Casey? Do you want me to start doing that?
yeah, let me tell you guys what transparently what the LynnPro team and my team have set for us as a goal. Just so you understand how we are trying to grow this. We believe that by the end of the year, we can have 30,000 of us as an army of people that are out promoting LynnPro. Out of that 30,000, we will have by far and away before then figured out what works and what doesn't work and what tiers work and what tiers don't work, and we will break the system. You guys are part of our first 1,000. Like we just clipped over 800, and we are building this plane as we're going. The fundamentals will not change. 10%, 5% will not change. Customer service team over at LynnPro understands how to grow a customer and grow a client and really grow a relationship. That's what they are spending their time and energy on doing. We'll spend it together figuring out how we make it easy enough for you to put people in touch. There will be a few people. I say 4%. And I'll tell you how I came up with that. Many of you have probably heard of the 80-20 rule. I break it down even further. I go 80% of the work will be done by 20% of the people. And then I take that 20% of the people and I say the real work will be done by 20% of that. Okay, so another 80-20, so about 4%. Out of 30,000, that means there's going to be about 1,200 people that are really out rocking and rolling with this. And I mean big money. And there's going to be probably 20,000 people that are making a little bit of side money. And that's awesome. We love that. I don't care if we get to send Paul the check for $500 a year. And that $500 a year lets he and Susie go out to dinner a couple of times. Well, they live in Dallas, so more than a couple of times. I live in Los Angeles, so that's like an appetizer here. But, like we're game, right? If Deborah gets to look like a hero because she was able to step in and help a customer get some shirts delivered to a trade show that they weren't going to have before, like that's the game. So we are here to play wherever it is that you want to play. Debbie Morrow, if I were making a guess, if you guys want to really watch somebody go to work, throw her down a bet. She's probably the most competitive person I know. Like I have to keep my cool about it because she will, I mean, so far I do have more affiliates signed up than she does. So I'm sure that will change by the end of the day. But that's okay. We want to be able to create an environment here where you guys are getting some big checks. So when we talk a little bit about tiers and affiliates, that's just jibber jabber for us to be able to say like, We want to reward Paul for putting us in touch with his network. And if part of that network is somebody of another large network, we want to make sure that Paul is rewarded for bringing that other person on as well. It's just pretty much that simple. So we'll create email copy for you guys, meaning we'll write copy. You are independent reps here. I'll say this, and I'll put an asterisk on it. And the asterisk is that we do have a couple of parameters. I don't want you guys out posting like in porn groups or be cool. Don't be a weirdo. Okay, so we don't care if you change up the stuff as long as you don't make some claim, right? Like I don't want you out there saying the lowest price pens in the world, and then we can't fulfill on that. So we want no promises, no guarantees. Our job is that our team will call and reach out and touch base with them and see how we can help them. And Jeff does have 100% customer satisfaction. I've seen him send orders where they've reprinted them because one little line was off. I've seen him deal with customers on a daily basis, and their team over there is top notch. And I think you will see that when your customers start leaving reviews on their Google page. Okay, awesome. Ryan, good morning.
Morning. Yeah, I was just gonna say, for a suggestion as you're starting out here, it's really big just to make sure that you're just getting the communication, that communication line is open and emails. So I see some people saying they're looking in the WhatsApp chat, hey, send my link. But what I would suggest is our team has sent everybody emails. So when you enroll, when you get signed up, there is emails generated and they are sent to you. So I would not skip that step and just bypass those emails because there's sometimes important things that we want to send to you, weekly promotional, maybe incentives or promotional material. So what I would suggest is go back, start from that start level one. If you haven't seen that email, go dig for it. And the reason I say dig for it is because I want you to move that like into your inbox, or if it's in a spam or in a junk folder somewhere, it moves into your inbox to make sure that your email inbox is trained to know that emails from us are important. And this means it goes to your inbox and you don't miss a thing. So the WhatsApp channel is kind of like this 24-hour support almost as it's got there. It's great when you're like, hey, I just can't find anything. You might have something like right on the cuff you need an answer to. But I would suggest try to look for that email. If the team needs to regenerate that email or something, we could. But there was an email given. And like I said, it is important to make sure that those are landing in your inbox because there is weekly incentives, things change, updates happen, and we want to make sure you're getting those things. So I wouldn't just like bypass that and like, oh, I can't find the email, give me my link. I would make it, if it was my business, and the way that I do this is I want to make sure I'm getting that communication from the company. So look for that. It's going to save you some heartache. It's going to save the team probably trying to go dig for it. We're happy to do it. We're happy to give you that link. That's the number one thing you need to make money. So ultimately, don't skip that step, get your link. But I would look for those emails, make sure it's going into your inbox, move those things into your inbox, flag them as important, whatever you need to do, because if you're using Gmail or Hotmail or any of your inboxes, it gets trained when you do that. So when the next email we send out to you, it goes right to your inbox and you see it. So just wanted to, like, some of these things are simple, but it's important to really make sure those parts of your business here are happening so you don't miss anything. So you don't feel like you're playing catch up all the time and you see this WhatsApp channel and they're like, oh, we love the incentive we're on. You're like, wait, what did I miss? I didn't see it. That's what I'm going to say is make sure you're getting that communication. look for those emails. They were sent to you. If there's like, if you can't find it anywhere and you're like, I've searched everywhere, I can't do it. Let us make sure that we get you an email, and that is happening. So I just wanted to throw that in. Step 1, 2, 3, right? Like, make sure we get the communication, make sure you get your link. Your link is where you make money. Know what your link is so you can give to somebody. And then we get to go into all this exciting postings and all of the different things that we do. But I don't want you to feel like you're like you're missing something. You're like, oh wait, I see all these people seeing something, and why didn't I get this? It's because everybody got it. So I would say just look for that and make sure that those emails are being visible in your inbox. And I think it's going to help you be progressive in this as things come out, and just being more on top of the business as it is.
Yeah, I'm just thinking here too. Thanks, Ryan. I always like to throw out different ideas because I want you guys to get your minds sparked and like, oh, I know somebody in my chamber of commerce that does this, or I know somebody in my BNI chamber that does this, or I know little Johnny's piano recital teacher does this. So we've got Shantha on here, right? Shantha is a travel professional. I'm doing an investors cruise, for example, in April. Shantha is the producer of it. She produces a lot of group cruises. There will be a lot of people that book group cruises through her that do like reunion shirts, happy birthday for the family that's going on a cruise, big events. There was just a big cruise that got off the ship here in Los Angeles called the Marketers Cruise, where I saw a picture where there were 300 people wearing a t-shirt. Someone's getting that business. It might as well be you. Right? So if there's a travel pro that you know, might be a good person to have a conversation with. By the way, also, I live in Los Angeles and I go to Disneyland a lot. I have a season pass to Disneyland. And I cannot tell you how many times I see Disneyland. There are 50 people in a family or in a reunion wearing, reunion shirts or company shirts because they're taking big group trips to Disneyland. Another great opportunity when you hear that stuff. Cool. Anybody else? We're all buddies here, so if you've got questions, okay. Well, we can definitely put a lid on this then if we have nobody else that wants to jump in. We're here to help. If you have questions, WhatsApp, we will answer them. If you start a conversation, Paul's talking to somebody and they start asking Paul questions and he doesn't know what the answer is, Paul, jump in the chat, ask us. We will help walk through that conversation with you. The LynnPro team will help. I'll help. Ryan will help. Shantha can help. We are here as a band. So yeah, Paul.
Like you said, I've got a bunch of people that do swag. So I've been asking them, hey, are you married to your current swag provider? Are you open for an opportunity?
Yep.
They're like, hey, we're always open for opportunities. They're always looking for opportunities. And, you don't have to use the word married. It's like, hey, I know you do swag and this and that. Are you open up to an opportunity to talk to another vendor? And every one of them said yes. So I've started the process of physically enrolling them myself.
100%. You will always get a better result if you're the one filling out the form yourself because you'll be doing it correctly. Right. Now, I use the line, are you married to your provider? If they are, I say, hey, do you have a number 2? What can we do to be the number 2? Because I know I'm very privileged to know and trust the team that if I just get them on the phone, we will quickly become number 1. But I don't want to go in and say, listen, we'll beat the price and we'll beat all of this. Like, let's just get them on the phone and let the team do the work. One thing that we don't specialize in, and I should probably say this up front, not saying it can't happen under certain circumstances, but we are not a wholesale printer. So if somebody owns a screen printing company, for the most part, they're not going to make a good client of LynnPro because they're already doing it. Okay, so in some cases, like I was an idiot. Years ago, I thought I was going to be a screen printer, and then I bought a machine, and I couldn't figure it out, and I was screen printing shirts in my bathroom, and it was terrible and horrible, and it was a hot mess and a half. But I had some customers. In that case, I did wholesale it out. but I also was an idiot and I knew that I was only going to make about $1 a shirt, so it was fine. But in that in that case, we would do it. But you've got a screen printer and an embroidery company or somebody that's doing swag at your local chamber. They're probably not going to be a great client unless they really they could. I'd put them in. I just wouldn't focus on that. There's just not usually going to be enough margin for them by the time everything happens. And Jeff and the team are top notch. So this is not some lowbrow 3 kids in Iowa that smoked a bunch of weed and drank wine out of a box trying to like screen print some shirts. That was me. I didn't drink out of a box, but but you get the drift.
Okay, it
So
also doesn't have to be like big orders either. Like we can do smaller ones. It doesn't
yeah.
have to be, 100 shirts or anything. It doesn't have to be like a big order like that. You can send them over or refer them like if it's a small mom and pop diner too.
Awesome. Great point. Great point. Thank you.
I think that's actually really important because um, a lot of the times with a new customer, they want to try to do a trial run, right? So it might not be a huge bulk order. And this is really where LynnPro has upped the ante for you guys, is that they can do a little trial run and you'll get paid commission on that. But Casey mentioned this earlier, as you're going to get also commission on reorders. And that usually happens. I mean, I know I've heard this statistic on it, but Jeff can give it to you because he knows this number like the back of his hand. But I would almost be guessing the reorder is huge. Like the times that a customer comes and orders, that customer comes back and orders again, and again. So a lot of the times, if it's a new customer, they may want to do a trial run. It might be something, hey, they just have one idea, they need something. Usually it's a time pressing issue a lot of the times with it, but sometimes it is a trial run. They don't know, they want to see how it goes. They get it. LynnPro strives on making the experience good for the customer. You don't get a 5-star review. You can get a 5-star review on Google, but if you look at how many reviews there is, it's probably like 2 or 3, and it's like your brother and sister that went in there and did it. You're not going to get 600 and something like that. So those are real reviews. They really do take care of the customer, and the experience through ordering is what gets the customer to come back and reorder. And you get tagged to those and you get commissions on those reorders. So you can make one introduction and that could pay you many times over. And that's when the business gets fun. It's because you're like, oh,
Awesome.
I got another check. Cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. One other thing, how often are we going to do these trainings? We will get this thing where we're doing weekly trainings, and it'll be at the same time, the same deal. We're gathering data, we're breaking it, we're fixing it, and then we're coming on and pitching it back to you guys. So this it feels a little chaotic at the moment just because like last time we did it on Monday, we will get it all straightened out, and most likely will be Monday mornings. So we can all start the week off right. So, okay, you guys, with that, Jeff, the team over at LynnPro, thank you guys so much for allowing all of us to get paid to just put people in touch with you, and you do 99% of the work. I cannot imagine screen printing anything ever again as long as I shall live. Like I said, you guys, we're here to help. Anything that we can do on our side, please don't hesitate to reach out. You guys are all absolutely awesome. And we will see you next time on the training. Thanks for being here, everybody. We appreciate you guys. Ciao for now.